Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We are here talking with a director. We love talking with directors on this podcast. And today we have John Lyde with us. He is the director of Sleeping Beauty Next Door and Seeking Persephone, which we are both going to be covering on Hallmarkies podcast. I've literally already recorded the recaps for both. I've only posted the Seeking Persephone recap at this point, but we do have them both. They both are coming, so I enjoyed them both. And John, thank you so much for coming and talking with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So this is your first time on the podcast. So why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a little bit about how you got started as a director?
I blame my dad. He took me to
Yeah.
he took me to movies since I was very young. Like I can remember going to see movies with him when I was 4. He took me to Star Trek 2, and
Oh.
he'd always show me the behind the scenes of movies. So watching like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, he showed me how they pulled the heart out of the guy. He showed me how they did the monkey brains, and like the making of movies fascinated me.
Yeah.
And so that's what got me into it. And then when I was 12, I bought a VHS camera and started making movies with my siblings and my friends. And then in high school, I would do videos with my buddies. We would do like little martial arts action movies. We'd copy Van Damme or Jackie Chan. And then
Mm.
after I got married, started having kids, less action stuff and more
Yeah.
romance.
So did you go to like film school?
All
As far
self
as your
taught.
all self? Oh my gosh! Wow. And you were an editor first, correct?
That's what I would get paid for. Like I'd
Okay.
still always make short films
Okay.
um, as a producer, director, editor, cinematography. But then people would pay me to edit features for them. So I did lots of that in the early 2000s.
And so
At the
the
same
and
time
the
doing
editing
features.
was self-taught as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. That's really cool that you learned how to do that on your own. I mean, and sometimes it can be frustrating these days with, things like AI and stuff like that, but it's also kind of exciting that in a way where it's so accessible for people to make things nowadays, which is kind of exciting.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
Like this
learn
morning
those skills.
I went to my son's career day. He's in kindergarten, my youngest.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about how like they could go out with their siblings' iPhone and go make a movie
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. So do you have particular favorites? So you talked about all those films that your dad took you to. Did you have particular favorites that really inspired you?
I loved anything from James Cameron and
Mm-hmm.
like Robert Rodriguez. More like so James Cameron for
Mm.
like sheer entertainment value of his
Yeah.
films, but then Robert Rodriguez, Desperado, El Mariachi, as far as like being able to go out and do a movie independently, not have anyone to tell you what to do or that you have to do it this way, and find success. So he
Yeah.
was really inspiring, reading his story, and seeing what he was able to do.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, and really he doesn't have hardly a bad movie on his filmography. I mean, it's just one banger after another is really incredible.
Agreed.
So yeah, good choice. And I did see on your IMDb that you have 7 kids.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
from 6 to 25.
Oh my gosh.
A few of them you can see in Seeking Persephone
Oh really?
in the tavern. Two of my
Okay.
oldest were in there. One with long hair and a beard, and the other one that was sleeping.
Uh-huh.
That was my other son, who was really asleep while we were filming.
So you've got a pretty big age gap too in your
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
My family does as well. My youngest sister was born when I was 18. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's about
So
how it is for my oldest son and the youngest.
it's an interesting dynamic for
It
sure.
is. Whenever he goes out with his sister and the youngest, they think they're the married couple and that's their
Yeah.
kid. They're like, no, 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 that's not us.
I had that too. Yeah, for sure. Uh, was it hard at all to go from editing to directing? Did you like shadow directors or how did you make that transition?
Well, I mean, I was when I was editing, I was still writing, directing, and producing shows at the same time.
Okay. Oh, you said you did shorts and things too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like my first, like back in like 1999, I did like small $100 budget films, just with friends and coworkers
Yeah.
to pay the bills, but they got distribution. early Deseret Book days or Siegel Book. And
Mm-hmm.
then as far as like I would do cinematography work like on Sons of Provo. So like a lot of Hailstorm movies I would edit on. At the same time I was directing my own things, producing my own things on the side. But as an editor, what really helped out was working with different directors to see their style. But also as an
Yeah.
editor, you can see like what you use and don't use, and so you can
Mm-hmm.
see, oh, this person, they really know what they want. They know what they're shooting. They know have an idea of how they want the scene to play out. And others just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and try
Mm-hmm.
and make it in the edit, which I like it
Yeah.
when there's more of a plan. But like seeing how, like with how Kurt Hale did things, John Moyer, how who else? Rob Diamond, Ryan Little, like editing for
Mm-hmm.
them, and even
Mm-hmm.
Keith Merrill, editing for them. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to see how each person was able to do things and learn. And so,
Yeah.
but then at the same time, like working with distributors, because ultimately, even though we're creatives, we're making a product to sell.
Sure.
So you have to have that right balance of making something that you're still creative, passionately about, but it's for a distributor who's going to sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it is interesting, that combination of commerce and art that you have with film that I think is unique to any other kinds of art. There's not that same commercial component quite the same in like painting or sculpting or, something like that. Like, yes, you have to make a living, but it's not the same, I don't think.
It costs a lot more money.
Yeah, it does.
And if you
Yeah,
don't make the money back, you don't get to make another one.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
It must be fun to see like the world of the movie come alive, especially like when you do Christmas movies or something like that. Like just to go on and just see, oh my gosh, this world is coming alive.
Well, whenever I read, I picture in movies. Like when I was growing up,
Yeah.
I would dream in widescreen, and my dreams had edits and music in them growing up. And so like when I first read, it started with Cordy Miss Lancaster, which is the 2nd book in the series. So that one I read first back in like 2012 or 2013, and I'm like, I want to make this movie. Like I could see it.
Oh,
And
I hope we get to make it. Fingers
well, we
crossed.
almost made it back in 2013.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
So I did like I started location scouting. We formed an LLC for it, and then things just kind of fell apart. But that's when I first met Sarah.
Okay. Yeah. Sarah Eden, who's the author of the books.
Yes. And
Of
so
Seeking
then
Persephone.
of Seeking Persephone. And so then fast forward to like 2022, I read Seeking Persephone, and I'm like, oh, this is where we need to start. And I also said, oh, this is much easier because Cordy Miss Lancaster has lots of balls. They're at the theater. It's a much bigger production. Whereas if we could find a really good castle in England to film, I think we could do Seeking Persephone. So that's where I reached out to her. I emailed Sarah, and I had like a plan of how we could accomplish it. And it took 2.5 years to do so. But we've made it so far.
Well, before we dive into Seeking Persephone, which I have a bunch of questions for that, but I do want to talk about Sleeping Beauty Next Door.
Okay.
So this movie, I actually think that it does a very good job of portraying a woman with a disability my friend Kristen Lopez, she wrote a whole book called Popcorn Disabilities that's all about the portrayal of disabilities in over the course of film and cinema. It's a good book. You should read it. But she kind of talks about how, it's either sort of like a trauma portrayal of like this nightmare that's happened, or it's like the inspirational, thing. And I felt like this kind of rode that line of like, it's obviously a challenge and it's hard in her life, but it's also like, it's not like she still, it doesn't define her as a human, like she has a whole nother story kind of about her life and the romance and everything like that. But I don't know. I felt like it was actually a pretty good portrayal of what it's like to have a chronic illness and to deal with it and kind of the ups and downs that she goes through.
Thank you. That was one thing we really wanted to hit upon, was because it's like often like you can take an illness and make it all comedy and play it light and there's no realism to it.
Yeah, it was a good mixture of also not trying to be like, look how inspirational she is,
or too dramatic, too heavy to where it's harder to enjoy. Because for me, like movies are an escape and they're entertainment, and so it's finding that right line. So that's one thing. Like in the treatment, like I wrote like a 20-page treatment and watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos about narcolepsy and the different kinds, and then just so many interviews. And it was like the interviews that helped the most, just interviews of people who have it, and then like struggles that they had. And so we tried to incorporate all those, and then I turned that over to the writer, Melanie Stone. And then she detailed the script, and we went back and forth just to like find that right line of still like making it like dramatic and it's real for her, but not making it a sad, depressing story, and still having some lightheartedness to it.
Yeah, it's a good mixture. I mean, and you had worked with Aubrey before, correct?
On Love's Portrait.
Yeah, on Love's Portrait, which was on Hallmark Channel, which was aired on Hallmark Channel. So that must have been nice. And then, of course, both movies, Seeking Persephone and Sleeping Beauty, both have Jake Stormont in it. So
Stormont,
yeah. Stormont, yeah. Sorry. But so that's cool that you get to work with these actors again multiple times.
If a couple of Jake's fans found, like, because I've done lots of projects with Jake, and like back in 2017, I did this short, and Jake was at a window with his perfect lighting, so I just did the still frame, and I said, one day I'll get to do a Regency romance with him. And some of his fans figured it out right before we announced Seeking Persephone.
Yeah.
But no, Jake's great to work with. He's a great collaborator.
Mm-hmm. Did you have like a cushion or something for all the times that she has to fall, that she wouldn't get hurt?
Yes. Pillows and pads for sure.
Okay, good. I was like, this woman needs a fully carpeted house. Like,
yes, just to be safe. Just to be safe. But I mean, that's something like, so on most of my projects, like I'll either come up with a story or help with the screenplay, but I'm the cinematographer, editor, assistant director. Like I'm basically the only person behind the production side of things. It's all for budgetary reasons. That's what sure. I'd rather have someone help. But with that, it's like you can keep it safe too. Like you can say, okay, I know this close up. All you have to do is drop into a squat. Don't actually hit the ground. Just fall down into a squat. And so it's just ways of like keeping the actors safe and not having them fall when it's not even going to be on camera.
Yeah. Although I got pretty mad at Casey Elliott in this movie because I'm like, he just left her there. She collapses at the end of the date, and he's like, okay, bye.
Did you hear his line? He said, he says, I'll get help.
Yeah. I didn't hear that line.
Oh yeah, because we've added that line in there for that exact reason. Yeah.
I was like, this guy's a jerk.
Yeah, it's like, I'll get help. You should have turned the volume up a little bit.
Maybe. It was funny. I'm like, she doesn't want to go on another date with this guy.
No.
But yeah, so Seeking Persephone, I mean, I think is incredibly ambitious. I don't know what your final budget was, but it can't have been high. And what you were able to accomplish with a small budget, I think is very impressive. So to be congratulated. Yeah.
It was due to a team. We had a very small team. Like on set, there was less than 10 crew members.
Wow. Yeah.
And so a small team, we knew what they were doing, and everyone, actor and crew wise, was so passionate about it and loved the story.
So some of it was filmed here in Utah, right? And some of it was
Correct.
filmed overseas.
Yes.
What percentage would you say was in each place?
1/3 here in Utah.
Oh, okay. And then
And so
2/3 over there.
when we did the Kickstarter campaign back in the fall of 2023, we raised a little over 200,000.
Yeah.
And so we built sets in a studio in Utah. And so we filmed everything on those sets and then had to go raise money so we could go do the rest of it in England.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and I was telling on our recap, I was like, I mean, $200,000 in the world of movies is like nothing. I was joking that it's like 3 days catering on the Avengers set. You know, I mean, it's like
I listened to the. I listened.
Oh, you
to
did?
it.
Okay, good. Yeah.
No, it's
it
true.
might seem like a lot of money in outside of, but in the world of movies, that's
it's not.
like not.
Because it basically went to, because we built Adam's room, we built Persephone's room, the book room, and then Harry's room. And that right there was half of our Kickstarter money, just like the cost of wood and like to decorate it. And then a lot of that also went to wardrobe because we designed and made original wardrobe for the lead characters.
I figured that the most expensive part was the wolves. Am I right?
That's probably one of the cheapest.
I was wrong. Okay. Yeah.
No, the build of the location, the build was expensive. To rent the 2 castles was, I mean, like the rental was probably cheaper than the build, but then you had to fly all the crew and the cast up there.
Yeah.
But like, no, the wolves worked out great because it was basically, I flew by myself to Germany because I was trying to find wolves that would snarl. And like, there's some in LA, there's some, there was one in Park City.
So they were all real wolves. There weren't visual effects.
All real wolves shot on green screen. Okay. This company I found in Germany, they specialize on animals on green screen. And so you basically take your footage and they match up the angle in the shot. And then I had a local company do the composition of putting the wolves on there. So real wolves, but filmed in Germany. With the plates and the actress in England and then the visual effects done in Utah.
Wow. That's really good. Yeah. So what was it like casting? So you'd worked with some of the cast before, but as far as for Persephone yourself, how did you end up with Ryan in your lead?
I saw her photo on her talent management group's website.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't hold auditions for Persephone. I saw her picture. I asked the agent if she would read for this part, and then I sent to Sarah who it was, and she goes, "Oh, I just saw her in a play. She's great." And so we ended up casting her. And then with Jake, so like we had a meeting at a restaurant. It was Sarah meeting Ryan and Jake for the first time, and myself. And Ryan and Jake didn't know that like we wanted them for the parts. So they thought they were supposed to like pitch themselves to be, we want the role. We're like, no. Yeah. We want you in the movie. Here's my plan of Kickstarter, then this, then this, then this. Do you want to join?
It's like a secret chemistry read that you're doing here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Them.
Exactly. And then like the other cast, Toby, who played Harry, I met him the previous year filming a movie for Candlelight Media. I was the cinematographer. He was in the cast. And then like 3 or 4 other people who were in that film that we filmed in England with Toby, I ended up bringing back. Yeah. And they
How did you end up with Will Kemp? Was that just through British contacts or
a friend of Jake's?
Oh, okay. Because he's a Hallmark favorite, and he's a friend of the podcast. He's been on many times. We love him. He's very much. So we're excited to see him, and I thought he did a good job. Like it was a role that could have been unlikable if in the wrong hands, making her go through this marriage and everything like that. And I think he did a good job.
Yeah, Will's great.
Yeah, it's really good. And I really felt like both Jake and Ryan both have like that. They have old souls. They like it works for them in a period piece. We talked about that in the recap. That certain people, they have iPhone face. They don't feel old, And but both of these, I thought they did. They worked.
That's why, like when I saw basically it was her headshot. When I saw her headshot, I was like, "Oh, that's Persephone." Great.
Yeah.
But then it did work out. So Jake directed Mythica Stormbound, which was Mythica 6.
Oh, wow.
And Ryan was the lead in that, and I was the editor on that. So this
Oh,
was
so
like
they knew
early
each other.
2023. But then what happened was, so I'd already seen her picture before I did the editing of that. But then when I got the footage of the first day of filming, I'm like, oh, okay, she is fantastic. Like, we made the right choice.
Yeah.
So it was good to see.
So what was it like working with Sarah? Because, I mean, she's the only credited writer, at least on IMDb. So for her own work, what was that like working with her?
It was a dream come true because I'm such a big fan of her work. But so basically the original Courting Miss Lancaster script, I basically took the book and hand typed the whole book again and then converted it to screenplay format.
Yeah.
And then when we were trying to get that approved, that's when I sent it to Sarah. She's like, oh, you didn't change anything. And I'm like, no, I don't want to change anything. And so like we had a good rapport there. And then when I messaged her about this new one, she sent me a PDF of her book, and I did the same thing. And it was a 261-page screenplay.
Yeah.
And so then we started having meetings, her and I. I'm like, we have to get it down. We have to get it down. So she learned screenwriting through the process of cutting it back from 261 pages to, I think it ended up being 144 pages.
So it was still pretty long.
It's still pretty long.
Yeah.
And
I think your hope is that, we can do a season 2.
Yes. That's the ultimate goal.
That's all of our hopes.
Season 2. I just read episode 1 this morning for Courting Miss Lancaster.
You did? It's already done. The script. Oh, that's cool.
So and right now, so nothing from the book is in episode 1.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the setup. Because like between book 1 and book 2, there's missing parts. And so now we get to see what those are that help lead and make the rest of the book.
Okay.
So we get to the meat of the book in episodes 3 through 6.
Do you love all things rom-com, holiday, and Hallmark? If so, we have the podcast for you, the Hallmarkies Podcast. We aim to be your destination for previews and recaps of every romantic comedy and holiday film that's released in cinemas, on streaming, and on channels like Hallmark. We also cover all the Hallmark TV shows like When Calls the Heart and The Way Home. Still not enough? We have recapped every episode of Heartland, Sex and the City, All Creatures Great and Small, and more. We also have weekly ranking episodes and interviews with all your favorite stars. You can listen to Hallmarkies Podcast wherever you download your podcasts or watch on video on YouTube. Come join the Hallmarkies family today. We know you will love it.
Was it at all a tricky balance of keeping Adam likable? Because obviously he's like this curmudgeon at the beginning, and he's, the recluse, and but you can't go too far with that.
It's a tricky balance, and I mean it took me back to when I watched the Little Mermaid animation for the first time. I was 12 years old, and there's that scene where the King Triton yells at Ariel, and she goes away sad. But then we stay on King Triton, how he feels bad for yelling at her. And that, for me as a 12-year-old, I'm like, wait, so when a teacher or a parent yells at me, they feel bad about it? So it just like that moment. And so that's what I connected to this is so we can see Adam act a certain way, but we have to see him feel bad about it. So in the book, there's the internal monologue, but we have it where he's talking to the painting of his father, or just talking out loud to himself to try and soften him. Because if that wasn't played right, he would just be the jerk that no one likes. And then you would hate Persephone for falling in love with him.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them to be together.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, he's just a narcissist, crazy person. She's doomed.
Yeah. Yes. Was it tricky at all to develop that chemistry between Persephone and Adam, between these two actors?
No, it was so effortless. They already had a good rapport as friends from him directing her, but then the beauty of what they did is they went through and they had all their lines memorized each, and they also had beats of story beats. So Jake knew when Adam was supposed to look at her and when he was not, and so they always they had to know how much do I like her at this point, and then on the reverse side, how much does she like him? And since we film it all out of order, it's just making sure that everyone was on the same page of where they were at and planning out the beats as it went through.
Well, I got to see it on the big screen in one of those fan screenings, and that was very fun. It was really funny because I went and saw 28 years later Bone Temple, and because I had to see it to review it, and then right after I saw Seeking Persephone, I'm like, okay, I wonder which one I like better.
There's two different sides and two different genres of movies.
Yeah. Nobody can say I don't cover variety, right?
That's right. I'm glad you got to see it.
Yeah.
And to comment on what you said about a theatrical release, you said I don't know why they released it theatrically.
Mm-hmm.
It's because
I just wish that it had been able to get a theatrical release, but it's too bad. But
I can tell you why it didn't.
Too long.
No, not at all.
Why?
So the booker for the major chain in Utah would not even watch the show.
Aww.
It took him over 2 months to finally get back and say you can have one screen for one showing, and that's when I replied, well, why don't I just do rentals? And so that's what we ended up doing. But then it's also the tricky part of at the same time while we were doing all those screenings, we were also trying to get a broadcast deal, and because basically like Hallmark or Great American Family, if it's a theatrical release, won't take it as a premiere. And so they'll basically take it as a pickup and pay much less.
Well, I'll be curious to see if either of them end up picking it up, because last year Hallmark did this show called Providence Falls, which was also had a period piece element. And they also did their own version of Sense Sensibility a couple of years ago. So that it's not unheard of for them.
So Providence Falls did poorly for them.
Yeah, it was so good.
No, they watched Seeking Persephone.
Oh, they did?
Yep. They said we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it's fair enough because it's a period piece with no name actors. Like they're wonderful actors, but they're not names.
Right. Yeah.
And with distribution, like no one, it's very rare that they'll take a chance. Like even like with Love's Portrait, they didn't put it on Hallmark, they put it on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
Right.
Because they had a void of a show, and one of the people there really liked it. So it's just the timing of it.
Have you tried Up TV?
Yep.
Okay.
Up TV takes months and months of negotiations, and they basically they lowball you. So they pause it. They basically wait till you have no other options, and then they'll take the rights for like dirt cheap, where you lose 90% of your investment.
Darn, man. No, it's interesting to hear this other side of it, though. That's like a part of it that I know very little about. So it's really interesting.
And then also, like you'd mentioned too about the like you have to pay for it on Amazon. So if it's on Amazon Prime, you get 1 cent per hour watched. So like if someone once it goes to Amazon Prime, if someone watched all of Seeking Persephone, I would get 3 cents.
Wow.
And then with that 3 cents, the distributor takes their percentage.
Right.
And so my investors, that's where it's tricky. So unless it's licensed, like if it's licensed from a place, then they'll pay you. Like they'll pay millions of dollars. Like Netflix will pay $20 million for a Halle Berry MMA fight movie.
Sure. Yeah. No, this, like I said, this is the side of it I don't really know hardly anything about. So that's very interesting to learn about. But I hope that it does well, and that, I mean, I really enjoyed it. That's all I can say.
I've heard really good feedback from Amazon. So it's been number one or number two this whole week on purchased TV shows on Amazon.
Good. That's good. That's good.
Right next to Marshall's, which is crazy because
both Utah.
Both in Utah. One is under $1 million, and the other one is probably $1 million a day of filming.
Right. Gosh. Well, I think it was a big accomplishment to make something on such a small budget that's so enjoyable, and it just feels lush, it feels rich, it feels professional. It's not like I'm watching it being like, oh, this is this indie. It felt really, really good, and so
Should we talk about Scars?
Okay, I wasn't sure if you wanted to bring that up.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was my main critique of the film is that I know.
I've heard twice now.
Okay. You wimped out on his Scars, but I think it wasn't a deal breaker or anything.
So the story behind the scars
Okay.
is it's exactly what the writer wanted.
Okay.
So Sarah and our makeup artist, the visual effects makeup artist, they spent a long time designing it. Because originally, like how most readers picture it, it's all over his face.
Right.
So that's what I had in my mind too.
Yes.
And then after we started having discussions, they're like, no, what it is they were trying to find his ear. That's why they were cutting, because they thought it was under the surface. So why would they cut all over? It's basically they cut around and where the scars were. And so that's where it's tricky too, because it's like in my mind when I read it, that's what I pictured was all over his face.
Me too.
But when the writer explains the reality of it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
I just didn't think that the way that he looked would make him be ostracized. Like it wasn't like nobody would think second hand about it. And
it was more of like a subconscious, because for him it's there, but it's not like something that's scary. Because the book also describes him as a very handsome man. Mm-hmm. And so it's that fine mix. So I mean that's the beauty of having Sarah there. Yeah, it's like every step of the way, like designing how the sets that we built, every wardrobe she was able to approve, any line that we wanted to change or adjust. I mean, like there was times where like when the scene where Daphne, like the family's going away, I'm like, I wish Daphne had something to say here, because we cast the actress and she was so strong, and in the original script she just leaves. And doesn't say anything. And so like Sarah just added, she knows the character so well. She just added the scene when Persephone says goodbye to Daphne. So I mean that's the beauty of having Sarah. That's interesting.
There. I like hearing that other perspective.
But I agree, because it's like, but it's also like how do people picture certain people's hair, and it's like how do you see the character, and that's where it's tricky, because like with books you picture something, and I pictured a very scarred face. And then after they explained it to me, I'm like, no, that makes sense. And plus, you're the boss. So, I mean, for me, it was fun. It was fun to light it, because if you notice, I did lots of shadows. Like I always had shadows covering his face. And then there was times like where he was very vulnerable and emotional. I would light specifically the scars. And like you pointed out like when he's standing at the window towards the end. Yeah. Where he's most emotionally vulnerable. So that's why you really saw them in that part. Or then in the previous scene when he's saying goodbye to Persephone, I had a special light where most of them is dark except for his scars are being highlighted.
Well, and then she like touches them too.
Yeah.
So that brings them out as well, obviously. Well, very good. That's fun. I wasn't sure if I should ask that.
Oh, no. We could also talk about pacing too, if you want.
You want to talk about pacing?
Sure.
Pacing. Because, I mean, my thought was, okay, the reason why they might have struggled to get it in theaters was because it was too long. But I guess that's not the case.
No.
Yeah.
No, because basically it's like, I mean, all the top movies nowadays are 3 hours anyway. that's one of the reasons though why we broke it up into a series for Amazon was because it is long. Yeah. But the best part from majority of people, they didn't realize it was that long of a movie when they watched it afterwards. But still, it's fair. No matter what it is, Mission Impossible, Avatar, Fire and Ash, 3 hours is hard. Unless it's John Wick 4, then 3 hours is not hard. But 3 hours is hard for anyone. So we're like, let's just do it in chunks. And plus, we want to turn it into a series.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, especially if you want another season. And you got to get it on Rotten Tomatoes. I've been wanting to put my review for a while.
I don't know how to get it on there.
Yeah, I don't know who you have to talk to or what you have to do. I don't know
I'll
either.
Figure that one out. I'll figure that one out.
Because I can upload my review.
But I can agree with you about the pacing. Like I completely understand that. Part of it was done on purpose because I wanted. I mean, it's just like films in the 80s and 90s, even like Pride and Prejudice. They're very slow moving. Like they're very slow moving. Instead of like most things days are so fast. And even like if you like the way that it was shot too, like I didn't do lots of camera swoops. Like I kept the camera still, a lot of it. I just wanted to try something more old and classical. And so like we looked at, because like other films I do, like it's tight. Like everything is so tight. There's no breathing. And I really wanted a movie to breathe, which I could completely understand how it backfires. Like for some people, like, and it could be for a lot of people, it's too long. Like, like tighten it up, make it go faster. But that was a conscious choice of, I just wanted something to breathe. Like, there was times where I just wanted to see someone riding a horse and hear the sound with no music because it's something that I enjoy. Or other times just hold on a shot of the castle because it's pretty with. Yeah. But I kind of understand it. It's like, and I think you'll see some changes in Courting Miss Lancaster if it happens. Fingers crossed.
Because
it's basically like going through and seeing that, okay, what's the point of this conversation, and does it need to be drawn out so long, or can it be more concise?
Yeah. That I really like that. I do appreciate a movie that lets the characters breathe. It's a tricky balance, and I think it probably could have been a little bit tighter. Even so, I still would prefer. I mean, I want the director to be able to achieve their vision. So I'm glad that you were able to. And the most important thing is the characters and their chemistry and the story. And so if it can work either way. And so,
but I can completely see a tighter version. So,
but congratulations on on both movies. I really did enjoy both of them. So,
thank you.
That was very good.
They were completely different as far as how they were done, how many people.
Yeah.
Budgets.
It was funny that I wasn't sure that Sleeping Beauty was filmed in Utah. I wasn't sure because most of it's just on the generic street, And then you show the Avenue Bakery, and I'm like, oh.
It was filmed at my house.
Was it at your house?
So it's my house, my cul-de-sac, and then all my neighbors' houses were the other ones. Okay. And then the school that my kids used to go. Like, I basically did.
It's a very picturesque neighborhood that you live on.
That was color correction. Visual effects helped that out. And then Avenue Bakery's not too far down the street.
Yeah.
So it worked out great.
It's like, I know that place.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
We like to end our interviews with some fun get to know you questions. So our first question is, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Very good. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Good. What music are you into?
Soundtracks.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, like at the Grammys, I never know anything that's going on unless it's in a Broadway musical or a movie.
I'm same right there.
Yeah.
And I've indoctrinated my youngest son. He can beat almost anybody and guess the movie soundtrack.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, what is your go-to date night food?
My wife and I are different. I like Mo Bettas. She does not eat at Mo Bettas. She likes Zupas. But
Zupas.
Tonight is Sabadi Thai and Lehigh. We both agree on that. That one's really good.
I like Zupas, but then they got rid of my two favorite things.
They change the menu too often.
I know. I loved the quinoa and kale salad with chicken added.
Good stuff.
But they got rid of it. Very sad. And the chicken tortilla soup, they got rid of that too. Very sad. Yes. But what is your go-to date night activity if you're going out doing something?
We like to go hiking or walking, or if we're both tired and just need to kind of check out a movie. We see lots of movies together.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you live in a good state for hiking.
That's true. Except right now, it's too cold. It's too cold.
Yes. So which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. Which do you like better, beaches or mountains?
Mountains, 1,000%.
1,000%. Okay. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Probably Christmas.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat Christmas because it's like a whole season
It's
and not just a day, especially in Hallmark world.
true.
What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie? You can say one of your own if you want.
Oh no, so romantic movie?
Yes.
It's probably a tie between the 2005 Pride and Prejudice and then The Light Between Oceans from 2015.
Oh, that one's a sad one.
That's my once a year. Both of them I probably watch once a year.
Cool. Good. Well, very good. You did it. You answered all the questions.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes, please.
Okay. So coming up from the writer of Seeking Persephone and from Ryan Bailey, who plays Persephone, is one of Sarah's other books called The Sheriffs of Savage Wells.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
And it's already done and coming out on April 1st.
Oh, wow.
To Prime purchases. Amazon Prime and Fandango.
Cool.
And they're still trying to find a couple other homes for it. But look at the trailer for that one. It's fun because Ryan plays a completely different character than Persephone. But it still starts with a P. It's Paisley.
Okay. Cool.
But that one was
what's it called 100%?
Again? The Sheriffs of Savage Wells.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It has all Utah cast. We filmed it at This Is the Place Heritage Park. And then west of Lehigh out in the desert out there. Completely different tone. I mean, it's action, still romance, but it's a Western. Horses, shootouts.
Very good. Well, very good. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Like, send me, when it gets posted and stuff, make sure to let me know, and I'll definitely want to cover it for sure. So,
sounds good.
Thanks so much, and yeah, with people listening, if you definitely check out. I mean, I guess let me give you one more chance to pitch to the Hallmarkies listeners why they will like Sleeping Beauty Next Door and why they will like Seeking Persephone. Why should they watch them?
If you like Pride and Prejudice, Regency romance, want something clean, Seeking Persephone, but also not just that, but characters that you can love and care about and really want to see what happens to them. Yeah. But also it's based on Sarah M. Eden, who's an amazing author. And if you love, the best feedback we've gotten so far is the people that love the book love the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's great to hear so far. But if you're just looking for a good movie, and it's surprising how many men enjoy it as well. And I mean, the common consensus, I didn't think I would like it. They all say, but I really did.
You know what? I can see that because it's just the friendship between Harry and Adam. That I think would be appealing to a man. And really when he says, I am the law, I died. That was a great moment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I really wanted to capture that one. I knew it'd be important.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I had everything almost go quiet right before he says it to really punch it. And then Sleeping Beauty, if you're just looking for something fun, I mean, you can find that places for pretty cheap or even for free. You just have to watch ads. But that's just a fun, lighthearted movie. Pacing is much faster, less than 90 minutes. If you want something long and beautiful, Seeking Persephone. Quick and easy, Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
And
we have a recap coming of the Sleeping Beauty, and we already posted the Seeking Persephone recap, so y'all should check that out. So yeah, I think that the Hallmarkies is the perfect audience.
I think so. It's the right audience. We got 3 S movies in a row. The Sleeping Beauty, Seeking Persephone, and The Sheriffs of Savage Wells.
That's true. You do good in categories.
That's right. The next one's not an S, but it does take place in Ireland.
Oh, cool. Very good.
With Jake Stormont.
Oh, wow. Good. That's great. Well, let us know what you think if you're listening, what you think of all of the things we talked about, both movies. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. And if people want to follow you, do you have any social media or anything, or they follow the movie?
I have Mainstay Pro.
Okay,
is Instagram.
Okay, I'll put that in the description.
I always post trailers and behind the scenes clips of the films we're working on. So Mainstay Pro.
Very good. So we'd like to thank John for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with him. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the things we talked about. Plus, also, if you get to see either of these movies, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure to check out our recaps. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And make sure that you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over the place. I would really appreciate that. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That helps us so much. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I know that I would really, really appreciate that. We've been having a pretty good run of subscribers lately. So please, please subscribe. And we have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing. You get to be part of cool experiences like watch-alongs and Q&As. We had Nina Weinman on this month, and she's written over 40 movies. So that was super cool to talk with her. Those are the experiences we give you as a patron. Plus, you get to watch and listen to any of the episodes ad-free, which is nice. And so definitely check out the Patreon. And then we have the merch store where we have tons of fun Hallmark and romance and movie inspired designs. So please take a look at that. And thanks again to John, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.